I'm noticing a bit of an unsettling conversation taking place in the public sphere around parenting. And it seems to be there's a sort of polarization taking place, which is disconcerting. First of all, I think having extreme opposing views on anything is not really the most helpful way forward. But I get it, parenting is an emotive subject and everybody has an opinion about it. Um, so I want to kind of explore a couple of factors around what is going on in this argument. So on the one hand, you've got a quite vocal and increasingly um, dogmatic voice saying, well, young people have no respect and they should be taught better and they have no discipline and they should be taught. I saw somebody the other day saying we should bring shame back. Um, you can probably tell from my reaction my opinion on that. But it's concerning in a way. I mean, actually, it's funny in a way because the youth of today have no manners is not a new argument. But there's a nasty undercurrent to it, it feels like. And I want to bring in a book. Uh, Please only read this if you have a strong constitution, because it's pretty gripping stuff. It's called For Your Own Good by Alice Miller, and she talks about so she's a psychoanalyst, and she says child abuse is still sanctioned, indeed held in high regard in our society, as long as it is defined as child rearing. So this sense that children should be disciplined, they should be held to account, their parents should be dragged through the mud if the children are misbehaving or so on. Um, you know, it's almost like a backlash, I think, to very reasonable, very compassionate, research-based strategies that essentially say that children are individual human beings who have rights and who deserve to be taken care of, not beaten. Um, I mean, I'm sure I'm making my point, my personal position quite clear here, but it's worrying that there's this sense of cracking down. And, parenting isn't the only area of society where there are people kind of digging their heels in and saying we have to take a stand. Now, on the other side, possibly understandably in reaction to that, we have a number of people who are kind of inspired by more gentle parenting strategies. And there's a more vocal protest emerging from that side of things to say, well, I practice gentle parenting, not permissive parenting. It's definitely not permissive. And so there's this sense that permissive parenting, which the way it's being used is basically neglect, is a bad thing. It's being demonized. So I want to actually just challenge this a little bit, because the initial study that identified the various different parenting models, you've got authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and abusive, neglectful. Permissive parenting, there has been a lot of commentary on it since about, well, first of all, we have a much greater awareness of neurodiversity and the specific needs of neurodiverse children that need to be accommodated. And often there are parallels between what was identified as permissive parenting with strategies that are now being implemented by special needs coordinators and teachers in schools to help these particular children manage to function better in the world. And it often looked like sort of stepping back a little bit. There's another layer to this as well, which comes also from this book. Again, disclaimer, please only read it if you are feeling really, really up for it. It's a little bit gritty and grueling. There's something about the way that society is and has been demonizing a mother's natural instinct to nurture her children. So we're told it's mollycoddling. We're told that the children are tied to their mother's apron strings. We're told we have to teach children independence. We're told we have to teach children how to fend for themselves and how to regulate themselves. Many of these skills occur within the context of somebody co-regulating and advocating for a child so that they can start to absorb that and take that. It's not kind of an instruction that is just given to them and drilled into them and then off they go already sorted. So what I'm seeing in this polarized debate is don't mollycoddle your children, be firm, be disciplined, be more strict, beat them if you need to, it is kind of the implication. More sanctions, more punishments, lock down on them, come down hard on them. And then the other side is we want to be loving and nurturing and respectful with our children. And because of this sort of dogmatic, opinionated expression, people are kind of backed into a corner and saying, well, but what I'm doing is research based. It's not permissive. It's not permissive parenting. But that is based on the assumption that permissive parenting, which is based on a mother, often a mother's insight and accommodation to their child's needs, based on in the moment responsiveness, which is actually necessary, is a bad thing. And I'm not going to add like this is definitely the way or that is definitely the way. I'm just observing that this sort of undercurrent, which is basically saying mollycoddling on this side, or stepping back and just kind of monitoring a child from a little bit of a distance to give them the space to work things out, which by the way is quite an active parenting approach, especially if you're dealing with a neurodiverse child, is a bad thing. And I don't think it is.